Hey guys, this is a pre-recorded match on Dry Arabia. We're playing against Criterion as the Abassid dynasty. and yeah, let's see. Let's go into caster mode. So we're gonna drop our TC here by this wood line and next to our stone, nice and safe. And our gold is relatively close, so pretty good spawn overall. Don't remember what we're gonna go for in terms of our build. Abassid, I'm usually gonna go for kind of a trade type of a play. and no, actually, I'm actually gonna go for Mangudai because I want to deny their second TC. That's what I'm usually gonna do against Abassid. He's going. Everyone's on berries, and he's sending one villager on the gold now, dropping a house. I think he's gonna get house for just a second. No, he's not because he will have room for 10th and no finish, so he's fine there. Let's see, we're scouting across the map over here. Just check our vision. I think we saw the. I guess we haven't seen his base yet. Running around. We do see his scout. So we're going to double back here. And he's going to take the path where we pretty much already were. Yeah. So he's running through where we already were. She's not picking anything up. Kind of fortunate for us in that regards. He's one villager ahead. Not a big deal. And yeah, not much to see in the beginning. It's pretty calm. We have an okay sheep haul. We got 6 sheep. And pick 2 more up, so that's a pretty good sheep haul. He's got 5. He's running over here. He's got 2 sheep way over here on this edge, so if he runs up there, he'll be able to pick those up. He's dropping his House of Wisdom. And he's really close to having enough resources to age up. And so are we. Pretty much even. In terms of our resources, I'm actually a little bit ahead on food. But I don't know what our villager pops are like. He's grabbing a couple more sheep. Now he's got a nice haul of 7 sheep. And our Khan has dropped off our sheep and he's running to go pick up more. At this point, there's only what, 2, 3, 4 sheep in the back of my back corner. So I'll probably end up picking up those later. We're both aging up now. He's averaging up with the economic wing. We're tapping up with 4 on the deer stones. And he's rotating some villagers onto food now. He pulled some off of berries. He's only got 5 on berries now, and he pulled the rest onto wood. It's probably gonna be a TC play, and we're also rallying villagers onto wood because we need to get enough for a archery range as soon as we age up. And we are scouting his base now. Yeah, so we found his berries. We know where that's at. Found his TC. We're gonna scatter on the front here. We find his gold. So he's got these berries on the side and this gold in the front. So it's a really good situation for us for denying castle. And let's see, age up time. Looks like we're both going to age up right around the same time here. And we're going to check out this stone over here. Yeah, so we checked out his gold. And we were checking out the stone here. And we see that he's mining a stone. So we know this is a guaranteed for a second TC kind of a play. And we're harassing his villagers a little bit here. We probably could have been focusing on picking up the sheep that were still running around the map. He's coming over to scout us now. We're moving our landmark. Oh, we went deer stones. Oh, actually I kind of remember now. We kind of went for a delayed market play here because we're dropping out the Mangudai. Deer stone's going to help all of our villager production here. And then same with because of the yam. And then the big thing is we were going to commit you know, drop a market afterwards later on, and we could kind of get resources from there. And then the big thing is we were going to commit you know, drop a market afterwards later on, and we could kind of get resources from there. So over here we shift clicked our Khan in a bunch of circles. We were able to pull back one of his villagers, which is nice. And then our first Mangudai is coming out. Almost done. And we almost have enough resources for a second one. Yep. And should queue one up here soon. Yep. So we're queuing them up right now, which is good. Our villager production, though, there we go. It's a little bit delayed there, so a little bit off with the macro. We see him pull the villagers here. So once we see the villagers pulled, we drop our scout here. Let's go to my vision real quick. We drop our eagle here, so we can see if he is doing some sort of, you know, double back play and going forward to this berry patch, because there's a berry patch up here. And we do see this horseman, and we're just running around the side. We have our Mangudai. We check the front. We don't see the gold, so we're gonna keep running, wrapping around the side. There's no TC there. And we're looking around over here and we don't see a TC. This is another good spot for TC, deer, gold, and stone. And we do, you know, we know he's got the stable up, and we're just trying to find. And there we see his TC placement. And you see, right, yep, right on the deer, right on the gold. So you can kind of determine these plays by doing that. A little bit of a misplay with these Mangudai idling there a little bit. They could have been here a second or two earlier. Yeah, a little bit of miss micro here. A little bit of miss micro here as well. We're picking off fully alive villagers instead of the damaged one. But his horseman is dead, and he's losing a bunch of villagers now. So he loses 5 vills, and he has to cancel his TC. So it's a really big play. So the timing of that worked out really well for us. And we do unfortunately lose one villager here, but we have dropped an outpost on his gold, which is something that I usually don't do, is dropping an outpost on the gold. But this time around I felt like it was a good move to do, to kind of control this front gold, because his other gold was on the side, and another gold node was here. So this was stone and 2 gold I was able to kind of control with this position. Behind this, we're dropping more infrastructure. We're dropping a blacksmith because he's got horsemen out, so we're going to have to be able to do as much damage as we can with our Mangudai that are out there. We want to really maintain a good mass of Mangudai and be able to deal with him. We're currently at 7, I'm coming out with 8. And we didn't get our upgrade yet, unfortunately, but we should get our steel arrow upgrade. And floating resources. Our opponent's doing a better job with his resources right now, because not as floating as much. We're here, we're sending a villager. I think he's going to go build a market, if I had to guess. We did a delayed market kind of a play. Behind this, we're just roaming with these Mangudai. And we have forced his second TC tight and close. You know, he can't spend a lot of time not dropping it. He's not going to go try to explore out. He needs to drop it pretty quickly. Pick off 2 more villagers, which is really big. And we get away with 1 life on that Mangudai, so that was pretty lucky there. And it looks like he finished scouting the rest of that area. We do have an idol over here. 9 on food. Let's switch our, there we go, into our resource count. So we had 12 on food, 10 on wood. 12 on food is to kind of maintain production going. Our scout, we're rallying him over here to this tower, and we're just running around. We're checking this deer patch, this berry patch, just to see if he was going for it. And at this point, our opponent is producing archers to fight us and horsemen. So he is committing to making a bit of an army here, and he is gold starved. That's a pretty big deal. Behind this, we finally have dropped a market, and we're gonna start trading with this side market here, and not the one on our side. So a little bit greedy, a little bit ambitious, but with the tower over here on this right side, it kind of is drawing the action over to this side, and kind of what we were hoping to do. We are camping this berry bush with these Mangudai. And he starts burning down our outposts. Luckily, we do have Mangudai kind of nearby, and we're sending him over. We have 1 villager over here dropping more outposts, dropping on this gold on the stone, dropping 1 on the back of this wood line, so when eventually they come through, we can get some damage, as well as we get vision in the back here. He does pull his horsemen back away from here. after almost losing one, and he's going for ram. So it's a good little push play that he's doing here for sure. Definitely a good call. But we are also producing our horsemen now. A little bit late, but we're starting to pop out horsemen, and we're getting we got our arrow defense upgrade, which kind of helped, I guess, surviving here a little bit. But it's definitely gonna be a little bit too little, too late, and we killed one villager though. Again, just picking off these vills here and there is a pretty important deal. And now that he's 2TC, and he's been 2TC for a while now, he's actually just even with our eco. So we do a pretty good job of being able to fight this. Over here, he's got his archers, and they're fighting our archers. We're pulling our Mangudai back away from these horsemen. And a little bit unfortunate, we lose this outpost and we're not paying attention to our horsemen back here. We're microing on the other side. He does aggro our horsemen, and these two horsemen are going to be able to do some damage. Unfortunately, we pulled them onto the ram. So at that instant, once the tower's gone, the play is definitely not to attack the ram, but attack the archer. So a little bit unfortunate there. We could have been doing a lot more damage. So I have to pull back my horsemen because of the misplay. And we're dropping a tower over on these berries, so we're still being proactive with our one villager. And he does a nice little push out here to make us fall back. And we still have a decent Mangudai mass here at 7. Really, I'd like to have around 10 to be able to do a good job against these horsemen. And we are producing now another Mangudai and another horseman. And have we started trading? We're starting to trade, so this is going to be our third traders out. And we are dropping a tower over onto our trade line. And he finishes burning down our towers here. So his towers are on the base. He's done a pretty good job of stopping. We still have one over here on the side. And we just double checked the gold. He still hasn't picked up any gold. And now he's pulling ahead in terms of eco count. Yeah, it is helping that we have this market. That's kind of helping us it's like a second TC, and we're bringing back a lot of gold with this guy too. 166 food and 16 food. This tower's going down, and he's starting to push up and forward, so we kind of just rotate to the side. And we can't really contest this, but this first fight can be contested by our horsemen. So we're kind of distracting his archers from fighting our horsemen there for a second. So we sacrifice some damage under our Mangudai to be able to push these horsemen up, and they're doing a pretty good job against these archers. But with this tower up, this is definitely going to be a really rough fight. With this amount of horsemen, it's just 2 of them and a scout. So we're just going to kind of reestablish our forces here, because we're pretty much ready for castle at this point. And yeah, we're tapping up now with the curl tie, and we're just gonna fall back our army again. A little bit of miss micro, losing this Mangudai for nothing, losing a horseman for nothing. So we're probably gonna re-rally our forces to a little bit closer up. Okay, no, we're not. Eventually we will. I know that much. We're up to 8 traders, so not a ton of traders. Eco's still going. We're running out of food here. Oh, so we're pulling villagers up to this deer patch. We put another group of villagers onto this deer patch. So that's one plus side of having this map control, as we were able to kind of dictate what resources we wanted to pick up. And he's pushing us forward again, but this is all archers and 2 horsemen. This is definitely an army that we can fight if he pushes us. And we're not too worried. We're really wanting to get our castle age upgrades before we move forward. Eco-wise now, he's really pulled ahead. He's 10 resources ahead. But the one big thing is he isn't in castle age. He's just now pushing hard for his gold, and he's been pretty. He's been gold star for probably I want to say he's gold star like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It's a really long time not to be getting any gold. And he's just finally getting. Well, we're both just finally getting wheelbarrow, but I've gotten a couple other upgrades, and he hasn't gotten any. He does find this tower, so I know he might be pushing out over here for the deer or the stone or the gold. And we do end up seeing that he's got villagers coming over and dropping a mill. So we got vision of that, so we'll know that that's happening. We're bringing up the Kurultai. We unfortunately do have some idle villagers here off of the food. We're probably going to put them onto these berries, I would guess. Trade still going. Slow and steady increase. It's not like we're hard committing to popping out a ton of trade, but we're getting a bunch of our upgrades. We're getting veteran Mangudai. There's that superior mobility. We've dropped a prayer tent. And we still haven't cranked out a lot of production buildings here. We only have 2 production buildings, and he's got 3 production buildings. So if you wanted to, oh, and he's dropping a bunch right now. He's dropping 4 more. So right now he could actually, outcommit or outproduce military right now. And he's going up for military wing. He's going up for castle right now. That's pretty big. And we're still getting our veteran Mangudai upgrade is still coming through. Our horsemen are still feudal age too, so we gotta do that. Again, a little bit too relaxed in terms of our military infrastructure here. Only having 2 is not a good thing. But our market's still going, still trading. And you can tell eco-wise, yeah, he's got a pretty good eco lead right now, about 12. And it's growing, so we're just gonna push forward, see what we can harass, how we can harass. Since we got this veteran Mangudai upgrade, we're gonna do a lot better against his towers. And snipe out 2 villagers super quick. And we're gonna fall back. And while we're fighting that, we do bring a bunch of knights over and horsemen over to hit this deer patch. So we're gonna idle a bunch of guys here while we hit the gold again. And we're gonna burn down this mill. So we're idling a bunch of his eco again, which is always a nice play. And he saw us building this tower up, so that's where he built his military too, but at the cost of the whole front of his base. So kind of a big misplay here by him doing that. His tower is focusing down mostly our horsemen, so we're gonna bring our Mangudai up, get a couple more villager kills, and maintain this difference to about just 10 villagers in terms of eco. And he's pulling 15 vills to the deer, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, we're picking off more vills, and his army's coming forward, so we're gonna fall back. We also saw that he was castle age, so we know we're in a decent spot here in terms of how far ahead we are at times for upgrades and everything. He's getting his veteran archers now, and we'll be done in almost a minute. We're gonna clean up this army pretty good. We're gonna send the horsemen to go fight the archers and the knights, and we'll just leave our Mangudai to clean up this camel archer or camel rider. And we see that he's once again out here on the deer, and we were able to push him off of it. So again, pretty big idling of his eco, more consistent with our traders, and we still only have 2 infrastructure going. So as long as we take favorable trades, we're okay. And the big thing is he isn't building any spearmen, which is kind of like a dream for our knights here, because they just trade really poorly with the spearmen. And we're able to push this, and we're gonna drop a defense arrow, which really helps with just the tankiness of our units here. So we're able to pick up all of these a bunch of units here, and we're just gonna fall back and heal. So that's another thing too with the Kurultai. You know, we set it up in the front of the base. We know where he's collecting his gold, and we just gotta, you know, slow and steadily grind down as many units as we can. Eco-wise, we're almost even now. He's 6 villagers ahead, so not super ahead. We're still pretty wood starved. We're still producing a ton of units that are wood heavy. Market, maybe it's a bad idea to have this many traders in queue. Probably could have been a couple less so we could drop more infrastructure, but militarily I felt like we were able to kind of know how big his army was, and we were kind of able to fight it and match it, so I didn't feel like I had to drop more infrastructure, I'm assuming. So I didn't commit a little bit harder into it. And we're going to clean up a bunch of his units here in his army. And the eco gap is definitely closed at this point, because of all the idle time too. and he's transitioning into farms, which is great for us. That's really costly wood-wise, and he's got a ton of resources floating, so he's cranking out a bunch of units now. He's making a bunch of camel archers, which I don't know. Eight is, I mean, they're good, but I don't know. 8 might be a little bit too many. And we know that we're kind of shutting this area down in the front, but we figured that he must be collecting. You know, we're over here, we're checking out these barriers with those towers, so he must be on farms at this point. So we're just trying to raid and harass these farms. And he's got spearmen pushing us away, so we're able to kind of, you know, burn through some of these units, which is a pretty big deal. And while we're doing that and he's chasing us, we're going to push forward on this outpost. If we can get the burn down on this or kill some villagers, again, just like that, it's a pretty big deal. And now that his army is coming over and chasing us, leaving our Mangudai, we're going to push forward and across, but we see he's got camel archers, and it's not a really good fight for us to fight them. So we're just going to reset our knights, bring our Mangudai over, reset them, and send out more units. We are picking up relics throughout the map, which is always useful. And a Manga now is coming up. Is our infrastructure up front or something? Oh wow! Here I'm saying that I've only got these 2 infrastructure. I can't read my mini map apparently, but yeah, here's the rest of the infrastructure. So we got 3 more stables, a siege workshops, and 2 more ranges. So after these villagers picked up the deer here, I had them fast produce a bunch of buildings, and then go off to go collect resources elsewhere. Where? I don't know. Maybe they went over here. But now we can maintain our eco or our military production in terms of keeping up with him. Here our knights are tanky enough to fight these spearmen kind of head on. We got enough of a mass, and the Mangudai are kind of shredding as well because of the mass that we have. And we're pushing into his eco and shutting down his gold is the big thing. You know, he's in castle and there's definitely some good units available in castle, but they all require gold. Your wood units are okay. I mean, and your wood units will counter me in terms of spearmen and archers here, but they're a little bit slower. And I think just per cost basis, a gold unit is usually going to get you a little bit further in the battles. Eco's almost equal at this point as well, which is a pretty big deal since he's been on 2 TC. Yeah, we'll pick up more villages, and now we're ahead in Eco, and that's definitely split in the beginning of the end. We have 18 traders going. 183 gold, 16 food, 16 wood. Did I drop something? Okay, we're bringing in another relic. I'm gonna go pick up another one. Oh, I brought villagers all the way across the map here to harvest our deer. He is dropping a moss to pick up probably this one relic that's over here, but we're sending our monk over to pick him up. Behind this, we send in our knight corps to try to burn down these barracks. Unfortunately, we lose a couple of knights, and he does rotate his army, so we can't do that. But really, it's just kind of buying us time so we can hit his front gold. As long as we keep gold starving him, we'll be in a pretty good spot. He's got plenty of food, got tons of wood, so that's a big deal, starving him of gold. And over here, we catch on the vision that he's setting up outposts over on this gold node. So once we see that, we're sending all of our forces over there. We're sending our Mangudai. We're sending our knights. We're bringing the manga now and just setting it up, just so he can fight here, just in case. We're sending a small detachment of knights, 7 of them, not all of them. Our main forces of knights are going to fight these guys over here, and our Mangudai are just shredding villagers right now. Lots of villager kills right there. So he didn't get his tower up in time to defend all of his villas, unfortunately. And we're kind of slow burning down with these knights, this tower. Now that he's committing his army in here, we'll probably pull the rest of these knights over and just start hitting from behind here. Our knights are fighting, and they're getting, you know, pretty beat up here, but they can kind of hold. They're not gonna completely die. Mangonels are set up undefended here, so a little bit risky, but the plus side is, even though we lose all of our knights, our Mangudai are able to just kite away and trade super well. I mean, if you can micro your Mangudai, they're always going to trade really well. Our Mangonels are trying to run away. The reinforcement Mangudai is able to show up and kind of save the other ones. The knights show up and burn down this outpost, and the Mangudai rotating over to help the Mangonels, which should have been shooting at this point. I definitely should have a moved those Mangonels. So yeah, from there he GG's. There's no gold on the map for him to get easily, and he just lost a bunch of vills. So overall, pretty clean game on our part, and just doing a good job of reading the 2TC play there in time and catching it when he wanted to drop where he wanted to drop it and when he wanted to drop it. It's a pretty short video. I wanted to show you this other English one. It was a really long game. It was almost an hour. So I think it'll just be a different video. But yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.